Sir, you need to move. This seat belongs to a real premium passenger. That's what I heard before I even had the chance to take a sip of my coffee. I looked up from my paper, half expecting it to be some misunderstanding. But no. The flight attendant, a tall blonde woman with a name tag that read Melissa, was pointing directly at me like I was a kid caught sneaking into a movie theater. Behind her, there was a man in an expensive-looking suit, white tapping his foot like he owned the place. I could see the smirk already spreading across his face. I just sat there, paper folded in my lap, and said calmly, "I think you've made a mistake." Melissa tilted her head, that kind of fake polite smile people use when they've already decided who you are. "Premium seats require verification of purchase, sir. I'll need your boarding pass and the credit card you used." I pulled my pass from my jacket pocket, first class seat 1A, bought weeks ago, and handed it to her. She held it up to the light like it was counterfeit money. "The printing looks suspicious," she said loudly enough for half the cabin to hear. The man behind her actually chuckled. That's when I noticed a young black woman 2 rows back pull out her phone and hit go live. I caught a glimpse of her screen. First-class discrimination happening right now. Melissa kept going. "We've had issues before. I'm sure you understand." I leaned back in my seat, keeping my voice even. "Understand what exactly?" "That we have to be careful," she said, looking everywhere except my eyes. The man behind her decided to join in. "Look, I'm a platinum member. I fly this route all the time. Let's just get this resolved so I can sit down." I turned to him. "When's the last time you were asked for your credit card to verify your seat?" He froze for half a second, then muttered, "That's different." "Different how?" I asked. "Because you're white, or because you fly often?" That wiped the smirk right off his face. Phones started coming out all over the cabin now, like sunflowers turning toward the light. Melissa straightened up and crossed her arms. "Sir, if you don't comply, I'll have to call security." I smiled faintly. "You should do that." While she stalked off, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my office board members waiting to start a vote on a major airline deal, the very airline I was sitting on. I glanced at Melissa's name tag again, and the irony almost made me laugh. She came back with the gate manager, a woman named Karen, yes I know, and 2 security officers. Karen tried to smooth it over. "Sir, if there's been a booking conflict, we can get you on the next flight first class with full compensation." "There's no booking conflict," I said evenly. "There's a discrimination problem." Melissa jumped in. "He's being disruptive." By sitting in my paid seat, I cut her off. The younger of the 2 security officers shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, maybe we can just..." That's when I stood up, took out my phone, and called my COO. "Mark, cancel the North Star Air merger vote, pull every dollar out of their holdings, and file the discrimination complaint we talked about." Melissa's face went pale. Karen blinked at me like she'd just seen a ghost. The man behind her stammered, "Wait, who are you?" I reached into my briefcase and held up my business card. "Darius Cole, CEO, Cole Global Capital. My company was about to put $500 million into your airline. Past tense." The cabin went dead silent except for the soft ping of someone's live stream viewer count shooting past 10,000. Seconds later, my phone rang. On speaker, a voice said, "Mr. Cole, this is Robert Lane, CEO of North Star Air. I understand there's been an incident." "Incident," I repeated. "Your crew looked at a black man in first class and assumed fraud. That's not an incident. That's your company culture." "Please," he said, "we can make this right. You can start I said by listening carefully. And I laid out 5 demands, firing everyone involved, real in-person bias training, body cameras for all customer interactions, monthly public diversity audits, and a direct line for discrimination complaints straight to the executive suite. 90 days, full compliance, or my investment was gone for good. Melissa tried to interrupt something about just following procedure, and I stopped her cold. Show me the procedure in writing that says black passengers need extra verification. I'll wait. She had nothing. Robert Lane, still on the line, tried to haggle on the timeline. 90 days is aggressive. You've had years, I said. 90 days is generous. And then I dropped the last card on the table. Or I start a hostile takeover in the morning and sell your routes to your competitors. There was a long pause. Then one by one, they agreed. Every single demand. 6 weeks later, North Star had a new chief diversity officer, body cams in 94% of their hubs. 0 bias complaints since the change. Customer satisfaction up nearly 50%. Minority bookings up almost 90%. The Cole Protocol, as other airlines started calling it, spread through the industry like wildfire. Melissa. She was fired, but I later heard she went through bias counseling and now speaks at diversity training seminars. Richard, the Platinum member, lost a big contract after a client saw the video and decided they didn't want to work with someone like him. A year later, North Star was the diversity leader in the airline business. Their stock was higher than before the incident. And me, I kept my seat. Not just on that flight, but at the table where real change gets made. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten anyone physically. I used the one thing corporate America can't ignore: money. And I made sure the world was watching. Now I want to ask you, what would you have done in my seat? Would you have walked away for peace or stood your ground for change? Have you ever seen someone judged before they even open their mouth? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this isn't just my story. It's a story about every seat we're told we don't belong in, and what happens when we refuse to move.